todos. Espero que hayan tenido un gran día allá en Red Innova, que hayan conocido a gente con buenas ideas, nuevos amigos, que anoche los que fueron a la fiesta del Bernabéu también tengan un día bueno con poca resaca. Y qué más, y bueno, que les deseo un gran segundo día a Red Innova.
Y que por favor se registren, habiendo recibido el email que se les envió anoche, que por favor se registren en la herramienta que ayer conversamos un poquito.
Así es. Arrancamos. Nuestro primer invitado, al que es, bueno, más que invitado, el que nos va a presentar a los siguientes speakers, es prácticamente un cofundador de la red Innova como nosotros, que ha creído en la red Innova. De hecho, fue el que nos ha presentado a José María y a mí, que es un gran amigo de los dos, que se llama Roberto Sainz-Malo. Adelante, Roberto.
Perfecto.
Acordate, yo sé que estás mal de la rodilla, pero este es el primer penalti, así que por favor, gran partido, te deseo.
Vamos a ello. Bueno, buenos días. Tengo el placer y la verdad el honor de presentar a dos buenos amigos y espectaculares profesionales a quienes, bueno, vengo conociendo desde hace algunos años. Alex Ceballos y Gustavo García. Gustavo García, muy conocido aquí en España, pero Alex también con fuertes vínculos a España. Y, por cierto, bueno, como forma de background, Alex tiene un aspecto que aquí en la red Innova valoramos mucho, que es haber ido a West Point. Tenemos aquí a José María también habiendo hecho eso. Alex y Gustavo creo que comparten mucho. Ambos han empezado sus carreras con mucha formación, MBAs en la Universidad de Houston, en Harvard, luego han trabajado para grandes corporaciones como IBM, como Kraft, como JP Morgan, el banco, y de allí han pasado a ser emprendedores. Y por caminos distintos han terminado hoy día ambos en una misma organización que es Amazon, organización emblemática en este campo de empresas nuevas, innovadoras, disruptivas. En el caso de Alex, lleva 5 años en Amazon, primero a cargo del área de medios de pago y más recientemente liderando lo que es su expansión internacional, mirando las adquisiciones, incluyendo la de Bybit recientemente, y también es una de las personas principales en Amazon haciendo inversiones en otras empresas, como por ejemplo en Living Social, que está prácticamente empatada con Groupon en el mercado norteamericano. Y en el caso de Gustavo, bueno, como sabéis, ha hecho Bybit básicamente de cabo a rabo. Entonces creo que aquí tenemos dos presentadores fantásticos y además una oportunidad para explorar mucho esto de cómo se entra en una organización como Amazon y cómo se vive en una organización como Amazon. Alex y Gustavo, ¿podéis ir pasando, por favor? Bienvenidos. Bueno, primero os dejamos con Alex y luego seguimos con Gustavo también.
Muchas gracias, Roberto. Antes que nada, muchísimas gracias, Pablo, José María, por tenerme aquí. Es un gran placer poder participar en este fantástico evento. De verdad que me parece maravilloso y la experiencia ha sido fantástica hasta el momento. Si no les importa, yo voy a cambiar a inglés, que es como me siento más cómodo para hacer la presentación. Así es que, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for having me here. Switching to English is much easier for me to do the presentation in English. So this morning I'm going to be talking about Amazon from a little different perspective than perhaps you're accustomed to. It's more of an inside perspective of how we do things, how we view the world, what are the things that we believe, and how the company has managed growth to where it is today. And amongst all this, obviously, there will be a few key takeaways for entrepreneurs of the things that are fundamental when you launch new businesses and the key topics that you have to keep in mind and make sure that you institute in the operations that you launch. Okay. So first of all, okay, I have to point to the screen. I'm going to talk a little bit about our strategy, I'm going to speak about our business, and then I'm going to mention some of our opportunities. Okay. So what is our strategy? Most of you perhaps are familiar with this part of us. It's to provide the biggest selection to our customers. And basically, Amazon is designed to be a place where you can find just about anything and everything, and we make it very simple for the customer to get. And in addition to that, we endeavor to provide the lowest possible price. We're not always the lowest price in the market, but we do provide convenience and selection. We also endeavor to strive to be the most customer-centric company in the world. That is a key theme that you're going to see throughout the presentation, because customer experience, being customer-centric, is perhaps the single most important driver of everything we're about, of everything we do, and everything we do within Amazon. Every key process, every piece of code we write for anything, we do it with the customer in mind. Jeff always likes to say, you start with the customer and you work backwards. And then you design from what the customer needs and wants. And then we adapt to that need and that want and make sure that we deliver. And we deliver in a way that the customer is always happy. Getting used to this here. All right. This graph, what I just mentioned, is actually represented in this little graph. This is a graph that Jeff actually put in a napkin 10, 11 years ago, where he actually laid down the foundation of what Amazon's strategy was going to be. It is a simple flywheel that starts with customer experience. We believe strongly that as you create a great customer experience, you're going to create more traffic for our sites and our stores. And if you increase the selection by including sellers into our experience, you're gonna increase that selection, you're gonna make more things available to our customers, and they'll keep coming. And that flywheel keeps growing and growing and growing, and you can create huge volumes. And as you do that, you start lowering the price, lowering the prices by removing costs from our cost structure and delivering lower prices to our customers, and they keep coming. And this is a virtuous cycle, and it's never ending. That was laid out about 10 years ago, and that continues to be the fundamental piece of our strategy today. Our business, most of you know us as a retailer, a place where you go and buy things. Our business is really about technology and how you use and leverage technology to deliver the best customer experience and the best things for the customer. We have a retail business, as you know. We have an operations business, which is a fulfillment center network throughout the world. And we also have technology platforms. And that's really what our business is about. We're a technology company that delivers things to customers in the best possible way. So who are our customers? Again, the most intuitive thing to think about is that you are our customers, and indeed you are our most important customers. However, we have other key customers with our ecosystem that are the developers. As you know, Amazon Web Services was launched several years ago before anybody was thinking about the cloud. Amazon was a pioneer in that space, and today the cloud is where it's at, and perhaps where things are going to migrate over time. Also, our sellers are key customers in our ecosystem. Our sellers are those that actually sell their own products in our platform. They expose their products to our customers, we sell them to our customers, and we pay these sellers. Those are key customers in our ecosystem as well. The end customers, we have about 137 million active customers throughout the world. We have about 2.1 million active sellers in our platforms, and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of developers in our AWS services. One little thing that I want to share with you is that from the inside of Amazon, as we think about the customer, that goes all the way to the core of our businesses. When we think about the customer, if there is a seller out there that is selling perhaps, let's say, they're selling a camera, a Sony camera or whatever brand, and they're selling for $100. If our own camera, the product sold by Amazon, it's more expensive than that product, that camera will not appear at the center of the single detail page, as we call it, for the customer to see. It will appear on the side. So even our own products will not take main stage if they're not the best value for the customer. So internally we call that losing the buy box. So that created quite a lot of controversy, obviously, internally, because you're telling the category leaders, you're telling the buyers, you have to be more efficient. You have to go back and buy better, at a better price for our customers, or you're not going to be at the center of the page. You're not going to make your numbers. So that's healthy competition, and that has worked very, very well for us. Amazon Web Services, it's the cloud. It's just an example of the things that we're doing. So you think of us as a retailer. We took the infrastructure that we built to manage that retail business, basically took it out and productized it, and now offer that platform to other sellers out there, to anyone out there who wants to run a business. Yesterday you heard about, it's very easy today to run a global business, to launch a global business. It's very simple and easy. We make that very, very simple and easy for anyone who wants to launch a business. Fulfillment by Amazon. Again, that's another service that is, it's very easy for us to do for others to take our technology that we have developed over 16 years and offer the same world-class fulfillment services that we do for our own products to others. What this means is that any seller can actually ship their own products to our warehouses. We take over that, and what we do is do the shipping. They sell on our website. When the customer buys on our website, it is actually Amazon shipping the product on behalf of that other seller. And obviously, it enters our fulfillment center network. We control the customer experience. We deliver the best customer experience. And the seller wins because, obviously, they get the shipping rates that Amazon gets, which is, because of the volume, is quite competitive. And the customer wins because they get assurances that they're going to get their product when they're expecting it. I'm going to share with you now a short video of Jeff speaking about Fulfillment by Amazon. And on that video, there are 3 key messages. One about the business and one for entrepreneurs, something that perhaps we should listen for, and we'll discuss in a little bit.
A great product, but if customers can't find it, or if you can't get it to the customer, at the end of the day, it won't matter how good your product is.
11 years ago, Jeff Bezos started a little online bookstore that's blossomed into a multi-billion-dollar business that unites consumers with products.
Even at the smallest scale, you have to figure out how to get help from your friends, from your family members, from people that you can hire in those early days. I think without that, it would never work.
Today, Amazon.com is one of the world's largest online retailers. And in order to fulfill millions of orders each day to millions of customers around the world, Bezos and Amazon built a global distribution system.
8 years ago, Jeff said, hey, we're going to be more than a book company, so I want you to build a fulfillment center that will handle anything that's about this big. That was the definition of the problem, and do millions of those a day.
Welcome to Amazon.com's Fernley, Nevada Fulfillment Center. Where 1 million square feet of precisely choreographed computer systems combine with good old-fashioned manpower in order to properly fill orders, lots of them.
It's an opportunity to use our infrastructure to provide better services to your customers.
Whether you're a Fortune 500 company or an independent inventor, Fulfillment by Amazon is just one way customers can find products, and products can find their way to customers.
Whatever it takes, we can help you be successful, regardless of your size.
Including fulfillment for our everyday Edisons and their products.
Now, because we can handle the fulfillment for them, we make those dreams come true.
When I thought about leaving my job and starting this company, I knew there was a good chance that it wouldn't work. But I also knew that when I was 80 years old and thinking back over my life, I would never regret having tried and failed, but I might regret having never tried.
If you recall from yesterday, if you were here yesterday, there was one thing that was mentioned over and over, and it was about innovation and disruption. And this is what the VP of Fulfillment by Amazon was trying to convey there. Yesterday we talked about how Steve Jobs said, I want the Apple to look like Bob Dylan's song. If you were here yesterday, Luke was doing a presentation, and he referred to that. Jeff basically said, I want you to be able to ship millions and millions of units about this size every day. And there are some fulfillment centers that we have, just for your information, that ship over 5 million packages a week. over 5 million packages, and much more than that on peak season, which is Q4 for us, Christmas time. Last year we shipped to 178 different countries during Christmas season. And what you saw there in the fulfillment center, by the way, we are also required as employees to go every so many years, every 2 years, we have to go to these fulfillment centers and get training on doing picking and packaging, just like they do there, so that we're close to what the customer actually receives. And also we spend time every other year in a customer service center. We're required to go listen to customers' calls and see how customer service centers deal with customer issues, so that we can learn, when we come back to our offices, we can learn how to really think about solving customer problems. So what have we done just this past year? These are some of the things that we have done. We launched the Kindle with offers. We keep lowering the price of the Kindle by offering more value to the customers. We launched quite a few services. We acquired Buy VIP here in Spain, as you may recall. I'll tell you a little story about Buy VIP. When we acquired them, obviously there were quite a lot of rumors on the newspaper that Amazon was acquiring Buy VIP. Amazon is entering in Spain via the acquisition of Buy VIP. So there were so many rumors that when we signed the transaction, we made a last-minute decision. Let's go to Spain and announce the transaction officially on behalf of Amazon. So that was 2 days after the actual signature. The papers obviously were rumoring and printing articles, some of them somewhat precise. So I came to Madrid, go to the hotel to check in. I show my passport, a U.S. passport, and the receptionist looks at my passport. He looks at my reservation, and my reservation happened to have been made by Buy VIP. So he looks at me and he says, "Are you from Amazon?" And I looked at him and said, "No. Why?" He says, "Well, because Buy VIP made your reservation, and Amazon acquired Buy VIP 2 days ago. Didn't you know that?" And I said, "No, I did not. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?" And he looked at me and he says, "I don't know. I guess it is a good thing." So here I was coming to Spain to officially announce the acquisition of Buy VIP, and the receptionist at the hotel was informing me that we had acquired Buy VIP. So, talk about confidentiality. This graph depicts some of the acquisitions that we have done in the past. We do not show investments here, but we have done quite a lot of investments. Typically, we do investments and acquisition probably about 12 transactions a year, give or take. There's sometimes more, sometimes less. Some of them are quite large, like Ceballos was a $1 billion transaction. We also do small investments, as small perhaps as $1 million or $250,000 at times. We have done that in the past. So this is where we are today as a company. These are the financial metrics. In the last 12 months, ended in the Q1 of 2011, Amazon had $37 billion of revenues. Now, let's put this into context. When Amazon went public in 1997, Amazon had $148 million in revenues. So in the last 14 years, we have gone from 148 million to 37 billion. How do you manage that growth? What are the things that you need to do and really believe in to make sure that you can manage growth and reach profitability? It's not a simple task to be growing a company at this scale at around 35 to 40% per year, which is the current rate at which we're growing and continue to grow in our core businesses. It is quite challenging, and we continue to do it year after year, quarter after quarter. So what are the things that we really need to believe to manage that growth and to get there? I'll mention something that 2 nights ago, we were at the welcome cocktail for the speakers, and somebody was mentioning during our conversations that she was at this conference where Jeff Bezos was present, and there was a world-known academic talking about bacteria and bacteria growth and how fast they grow, and how after they reach a certain level of growth, there's a diminishing return at that point, and they slow the growth at a certain point. So in order to continue to grow, what they do is they mutate into a different state and re-energize, reinvent themselves, and grow again. to keep doing that continuously, to keep the business, to keep, the bacteria growing and growing. That's how they reproduce. And what she mentioned was that Jeff was very, very actively asking a lot of questions to this academic. And I can totally understand and identify with that because it's precisely how we do our business. We reach certain levels, we reinvent ourselves, create new businesses, we launch the Kindle, which is a hugely successful business for Amazon. We launched FBA, we launched the cloud, and those are businesses that we're using and leverage our core assets and infrastructures to launch and provide better services, and just creating new businesses continuously. And you'll see more and more of that coming. So what are some of those beliefs that you have to have ingrained in you and the culture of the company to be able to deliver that kind of growth? First of all, obsession over customers. We are fanatic about customers. I said at the beginning, it is the single most important driver of everything we do. There's no shortcuts with the customers. You have to deliver to customers. You have to deliver the best experience. Sometimes reckless short-term gains will inevitably result in loss of customer trust. Sometimes if you go out to do and benefit from what you're going to do over the next 3 months, you may lose what you could earn and win over the next 5 years. And we treat the customer trust with the utmost care and importance at Amazon. That's what we're about. It's all about the long term. There's a phrase there that said, we will continue to make investments in line of long-term market leadership considerations rather than short-term profitability or short-term Wall Street reactions. Over the years, we have tried to communicate to everybody externally, we are long-term oriented. We believe in the long term. We believe that by aligning the customer interest with the shareholder interest, we will both win over the long term. You have to be patient, you have to believe and try new things every single time, learn from them, and keep relaunching them. By the way, these phrases, those are excerpts from the shareholders' letter that Jeff wrote to the shareholders in 1997 when the company went public. So I took those out and thought it was important to show those. Another phrase that is in the shareholders' letter of this past year is like, many of the problems that we face have not textbook solutions, so we happily invent new approaches. What he's talking about there is that when we try to start working from the customer backwards, you very frequently run into obstacles, if you will, that some other companies would say, we can't do that. We cannot do that. We don't view the world that way. We said, what if we do this? What if we do that? We need to get to a solution. I'll give you an example. Some of you may have Kindles. In the Kindle, the strategy is you buy one time and you can read everywhere. So the technology and the algorithms behind that simple statement, you can read everywhere. And all the devices will be in sync simultaneously. The technology behind that is humongous. It's called Whispersync. And what it is basically is that you have the Kindle, you can have an application on the iPad to read your book in the Kindle. You can start reading in the Kindle, turn it off, go to the supermarket, open your iPad, and the book will come on the same page that you left off at home when you were reading in the Kindle that particular book. And the same thing with the mobile devices. You can be reading on your iPhone, your BlackBerry, and they will all be in sync. To make that happen, to invent that technology, is not something that you go and get off the shelves. Imagine having, in over 100 countries, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of books to be synced simultaneously for millions and millions of devices, both Kindles and all the other interconnected devices that display the same content. And make that happen consistently and seamlessly. It takes a tremendous amount of effort and technology behind that to make that happen. And that's what we did because we thought that was what was right for the customer. Yep. Well, this is just I'm out of time. This is just a picture to depict what the selection looks like. So we have We have selection on different categories in many different countries, and the way we grow, we keep launching new categories that we haven't launched in certain countries. Obviously, we'll be launching more countries. We launched Italy last November. After Italy, there will be more countries coming, and then we start with a few categories, and then we fill the entire pipe. And very quickly, this is just a picture of where we are. It's not working. It's not working. Well, we were at the end of the presentation, so that's it. There you go. Thank you very much.